Cozy up and welcome to our very first episode of the Cub Cast. I'm Aaron. I'm here with Thomas. How are you, Thomas?
Not too bad, man. Are you?
I'm alright. I'm alright. So, this podcast, huh?
Yeah, it's the first episode, obviously. I decided to do it. Podcast is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, so it's finally good to get it going, and especially with the amazing Aaron. I'm joking.
I know, right? I'm too good.
I won't go that far, mate.
I've always wanted to do a podcast as well because I think it's pretty sick. So, how did we come around to it? When did it get mentioned?
I don't know, to be honest. I think it was, like I said, I've always been wanting to do one for a few months, but I think it was just because we're both very motivated right now to do YouTube and stuff like that, and obviously this is just expanding our business per se. I don't know how to pronounce it properly.
Professionals.
Yeah, obviously.
So we're planning on having some special guests. We'll come back to that later. What we're gonna start with is a topic that we've always discussed in group chats because it's something that's quite controversial amongst the Call of Duty.
Very controversial. I'm gonna take it from you. Our favorite COD games. We're gonna rank them in the top 5, and Aaron, you can say one first.
Okay, well, my favorite, right? A lot of people won't agree with me, but Modern Warfare 2. Because, right, the vibes that came from that game, I don't know, like, they were something else, like kids screaming at each other, telling them that they'd bang their mums. And I'm like, it was great, like, the Xbox 360 voice chat.
Xbox 360 was class, though.
the way, the toxicity, it made COD, and the game it still had that nostalgic feeling with the trick shotters and everything. And yeah. That's why Modern Warfare 2 is my favorite COD game, I would say.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Like, I was never really played too much with Modern Warfare 2. I wasn't a big fan of it, but I wouldn't say it's controversial because it's a lot of people's favorite COD games, and I don't understand why. It's got that classic Modern Warfare feeling. Like,
yeah, it does. It 100% does. It just has that COD vibe.
I'm gonna go with my first one. My top best COD game of all time. It has to be Black Ops 2 for me. Like, bro, the amount of hours I have on that game, the amount of memories I have playing with my mates from school, just chilling, and I just think it's a well polished game. Like, it feels dated now, but I can still go back on that game, have a great time, have a laugh, and I'll just really enjoy it. Basically.
Yeah, I get that. Will I move on to my second then?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I think that my second favorite game is Ghosts. I'm sorry. All right, so
No, keep on.
A lot of people hate Ghosts not because of the mechanics, but because of the guns and how bad the guns were. The snipers, they weren't snipers. Anyway, the honey badger, that thing was a melt. It was like the only gun that everybody would use.
It was a machine.
It was a machine. But you know what? I'm gonna go into this, right? So Ghosts, it was unique. It had the alien Easter egg with the alien launcher. It had a Predator thing where you would turn into Predator, go invisible. Had Mike Myers. I'm pretty sure it had a few other like Easter eggs in it. It had specific nukes for every map. And the nuke, it wasn't a nuke. You could get a nuke, but you could get it in a care package, the KEM strike, right?
Yeah.
And it was different in every map. Like every map had a unique nuke, if per se. So that the vibes that I had from that, and I used to play it with my dad as well. So,
basically, I agree with you on some points. The guns, like if you're playing gun game, you got the honey badger, game over, mate, game over. Yeah. But like, I agree, and we'll get onto my opinion on Ghost later. But I'm gonna go with Black Ops 3 as my second one. Similar to Black Ops 2, like the amount of vibes, bro. The amount of times I played the zombies in that game. Zombies for a game isn't the most important part, and I feel like it's
not unless you're a zombies player, innit?
Zombies is definitely a overlooked part of the game because some people just never play zombies, and I can understand if they don't appeal to it. If they're more of a like multiplayer kind of guy. But I really enjoyed it, and the multiplayer in the game I just thought was really, really good. The only thing was, though, the specialists in that game were a bit too overpowered. Like, I just think the Seraph, what was it, the golden gun?
Yeah,
absolutely broken.
The Annihilator.
Annihilator, that's it, mate. And it was just mad. But yeah, I will go number 2 spot. Vibes in that game.
Okay. My number 3 is Black Ops 2 for the exact same reason that Thomas said. Again, Xbox 360 screaming. As well as the smoothness. It was so polished and such a good game for its time. I think another reason, touching back on Ghosts, another reason that people were annoyed at Ghosts is because the game before Ghosts was Black Ops 2, which was absolutely outstanding. It changed the gaming community, and then going to something like Ghosts maybe annoyed them with the difference in guns.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do agree with that. I completely forgot Ghosts after Black Ops 2, to be honest.
Yeah.
Didn't remember, but yeah, that is a good point to come across, and I do understand why you've put it lower down the list, sorry. But yeah, next I have to go with Advanced Warfare. There was a first game that actually Sledgehammer, I believe, who made the game, right? Sledgehammer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They took a massive risk by making it a futuristic COD. The first COD game to actually do something like that, with mechanics of actually being able to double jump using the exosuits, and I thought it was an amazing mechanic. Sometimes a bit overpowered with how much you could move, but I just loved it. And the exo zombies part as well, amazing. That double barrel shotgun thing that you could get out of the 3D printer, absolutely insane. And you could pack a punch it 25 times, which I just thought it was a good thing to do. And the campaign, I love the campaign, the mission where I think you went into the prison, you got trapped, and then you like broke out and stuff. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, I just think it was a great game.
Yeah, I also have Advanced Warfare, but I have it obviously as my 4th spot. And I think the casting for campaign, Kevin Spacey,
I forgot about that. Absolutely incredible.
He's a legend. I don't care what anyone says about him. I don't care what he's been involved in recently. I'm not going to talk about that because that's just something else. But he's a great actor. I know he mightn't be a good person, but we're talking about COD here. So I think he was a great casting choice. He was a fantastic villain. He always is. Am I right? Like he's practically always a villain. Like he's never really good. And the multiplayer, it felt so polished. By the end, I think it was that the grapple hook was thingied. You know,
I believe
when everybody was glitching up onto roofs and stuff with the grapple. I used to do that all the time with, what's that gun? The ASM-1 or something like that.
Yeah. Like the AR, like the AR sort of thing.
Yeah. Sick. I got that thing. I got the whole AR's diamond, I think, for that. I think that's how it worked. And the zombies, that one zombies mission where you could get the zombie skin for multiplayer.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It was like
that was class.
Exfil from
the new zombies.
Yeah, so it was like that, but it was like an actual zombies game mode. And one of my friends had to carry me through it because I just couldn't do it. The Exfil way of it was just way too hard. But it was fantastic, and it got you that sick skin in multiplayer.
I completely forgot about that. I got that like near the start of it actually being available. I was one of the first people to get it, and I was bragging to my friends. I was like, mate, I'm a bloody zombie in multiplayer, lads. I was gassed. Bro,
yeah,
it's insane.
It was like one of those things. It was like, it's like getting
unique.
It's like getting something in real life that you've always wanted to wear, for example, or play, like a guitar or a piano or whatever. So.
All right, so for my 4th game, I have to go with Modern Warfare 4 because my uncle, shout out to him, he made me adore this game, man. Like, I played it a bit before that, but Modern Warfare 4 on PC, the COD lobbies, you got the sweaty boys. The absolute sweats on Modern Warfare.
Do you mean Modern Warfare 2019?
No, not that one. The COD 4, but it's a Modern Warfare game.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't call it Modern Warfare 4.
Yeah,
COD 4.
It COD 4.
That's fair.
I always call it COD 4, but Modern Warfare 4 for the technicalities. Yeah, alright. I just loved it. Game. And yeah, first Modern Warfare game. I enjoyed it. I just think that game came out in 2007 or 2009. One of the two. Don't count me on that. Definitely one of the two. The graphics in that game for 2009, absolutely amazing.
You couldn't have played it in 2009 though, right?
No. I played it. I played it a long time
Yeah,
after.
I was gonna
No,
say.
I was a COD gamer since I was 2 years old. Lads, come on, I was getting nuclears back in the day. No, but actually, I just love that game. Good.
Okay. My fifth spot has to take Black Ops 3. And I think the only reason it takes my fifth spot is because of the limited exosuit. So Advanced Warfare, there wasn't really a limited exosuit. It was very overpowered. Black Ops 3 toned it down whilst balancing that out with specialists.
Yeah.
Such as battery. That I have a controller holder that's battery over here. So she had a war machine, and then you had that person with the annihilator. What was her name?
Seraph.
Yeah. And you had battery with is it battery?
Yeah,
no, battery's that.
And you can get gold skins from him.
What was that guy? The guy with the things.
Oh, the gravity spikes. Yeah.
Him.
Whatever his Donnie is.
Yeah, him. It just had a whole different vibe about it. It was new, kind of like World War II. Introduced the specialist class to certain weapons. It was kind of like that. It was new. Like we never had specialist classes before.
Yeah, it was something definitely new to bring to a game, especially COD, because with a game that changed so much, Advanced Warfare, obviously the futuristic vibe instead of a more modern day or past sort of tense. Having it sort of futuristic but sort of balanced, because like you were talking about the Advanced Warfare being exosuits being a bit too overpowered. I love that there was a limit to it and it wasn't too overpowered, so the rest of the game could actually be focused on more combat.
Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah.
So for my final one, I put Ghosts. I love this game. In my opinion, the campaign was the best part of this game. The multiplayer I enjoyed, but there were some issues that I just can't leave. But the campaign, in my opinion, was almost perfect. Literally.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
Just because
I think it was the most polished campaign we've ever had, personally.
Fair enough. It's just because I don't think it can ever be perfect until it's the end of COD, because we don't know what else could come. Out of the ones.
No, but right now it's perfect, in my opinion. Right, let me add here. Right, every mission in that game was unique. Every mission was unique. The first mission, you wake up, there's an earthquake-looking thing. You have to run. You have all them Rourke files to collect. I think I played that campaign through 3 times to get all of them. You have to run, and then there's missions in the water. There's missions in big rugby stadiums. There's missions. The one underwater was sick. In the fish AI, that's always been a meme. The fish AI. It was the first ever game to have fish move away when you go near them, and that was something legendary.
Yeah.
And ever since, in the COD games, the menus on the restaurants have always had fish AI as one of their serving things.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, that's actually it's an Easter egg. But I think every level in that was new and unique, and that was what I loved about it. And even the last one, you're in that mad train, and hits the water. You're on a beach. You see fireworks, etc. I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you've not played the game, go and play it. Get back on your Xbox One.
No, I've always said that. I think the spoiler deadline. If you haven't played a game or watched the movie within 5 months, you can spoil it no matter what, because it shouldn't matter.
And I know some people, some of my friends, they hadn't watched any of the Harry Potters before. Well, I say some of my friends, that they're not my friends. But basically, I do agree. I just think I love the Infinite Warfare campaign for how much of a bad game it was, especially optimized. Cold War's badly optimized, but it's better. The zombies was amazing in Infinite Warfare. I know we're striding away from Ghosts, but I love that game. But the campaign, the cast with that, Conor McGregor, you've got what's his name from Game of Thrones?
Jon Snow. What is his name?
I think I don't know his real name, but Jon Snow. And I really like the story, the futurism, but I just think Ghost was like that, but better. That's why it's in my number 5 spot.
That's good, yeah. Moving on topics here. The PS5s,
Xbox Series X.
Series X, and the Nvidia RTX Series 3000 series.
30,000 series, nice math, sorry.
30,000! Right, anyway. So we're gonna talk, right? I'm trying to get a hold of a PS5, right? And it's impossible. Like,
Yeah.
but, so they've all been out of stock. But what we think, it's a marketing technique, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
if you have something in a limited stock, right, and you release that limited stock, you know it's going to go out of sale. It's Christmas time. You know that's also part of the marketing technique. It's a whole strategy. And it's Christmas time. It's coming up on Christmas time. They release their consoles in small bundles, right? Goes out of stock. Wow, it makes headlines. It gets back in. It goes out of stock. It makes headlines. It makes headlines again. It just keeps hyping it up and hyping it up until it gets a big delivery.
Yeah.
Because you never seen that type of thing with the Xbox One or the PS4. That it's a new. They've outsmarted everybody. Like.
Yeah, I do agree. It's annoying, but my dad did manage to get a hand on the Xbox Series X. We got one of those because he pre-ordered it. But for the people that haven't pre-ordered it, it's very unfortunate. But next year, I'm gonna be looking towards maybe picking up a PS5. We'll see how it goes. But it's just insane. Like you on about the Nvidia series, they did a similar thing. It wasn't as close to Christmas, but like they did such little stock. They sold. I remember. I think they sold out in the first what was it, minute and a half?
Yeah.
It was insane.
I know that a lot of people have bots for that type of thing, so that they can resell it at an even higher price. But the thing is I've been trying to get a hold of a RTX 3080 as well, like the original one, because
the Founders Edition.
It's all I need. It's all I need, and it goes perfectly with my processor and everything. So the thing is it's hard. They're so hard to get. And again, the marketing technique, I don't know how to say it. It's rude. It's mean. But it's money making.
It's cash. It's cash.
It's cash flow. It's continuous headlines. You've got the publicity. Even if it's bad publicity, it's going to hype up your console, your graphics card, whatever you're doing. You know, phones don't need that nowadays because phones are big enough. Like the Apple iPhone will never run out of stock, and that costs less to make than a PS5, for example. And that just tells you. That shows you there is a marketing technique strategy even.
Yeah, it does make sense. I just think it's annoying for us consumers and like people wanting to buy it, but like I understand why they've done it, but make more money. Obviously, that's what every business is. But obviously. Yeah. I love the cards. I've got an RTX 2080 series graphics card. 2080 series graphics card. Lovely. But I've got 2080, and it's been a great card. And obviously, the next generation is even better. Like the 3070 is like within like twice the power of the 2080 Ti, and that was already
something like that.
That was already a great card.
Thing is we like our RTX cards, you know, because it helps with our streaming and recording. But we don't actually use the ray tracing.
No,
like ever. And the only time I've ever used ray tracing is for small games. Maybe if I'm streaming and I'm doing a horror game that is ray tracing supported, I'll do that. But that's it.
Yeah, I do agree. Ray tracing is a great feature, but I think until cards can be powerful enough to use ray tracing, get a stable
FPS,
stable 240 FPS, or maybe even 360, soon as those 360 Hz monitors are just coming out.
I think they're not even at 60 FPS stable with it yet, which annoys me because they go, oh yeah, look at this, you're going to have your PS5 with 120Hz, 120 FPS. And then they release Spider-Man Miles Morales, which we'll come to later, as they release it, and they go like, you can play it on fidelity mode, which is like the
optimum
30 FPS, maximum ray tracing, everything. The game looks fantastic, but you're playing in 30 FPS. You've most likely get input delay from that. And then you have your performance mode, which is still only 60 FPS. Apparently, you can't run Spider-Man in 120 FPS on the PS5.
Really?
No, you can't.
It's 120 Hz console, but you can't run the games in 120.
You can run some games, and Fortnite. The thing that a lot of Fortnite console people have been waiting for is 120 FPS.
Yeah, that's
because
a big
they want
thing
more FPS. Because that's what everybody wanted when we played Fortnite. You know, if we didn't have a PC like me, I started on PS4. But it's like it's everything that they wanted, and then they're told you can only run it at 60 FPS, but you can run it at 4K.
Yeah, because like I think people So I don't obviously know people, but financial situations obviously will be a big thing. If they get the console, they might just be getting it for the reason they might have 120 Hz mono, 144 Hz mono. For that reason, maybe not the 4K aspect of it. Because if you're using a 24-inch monitor or TV or something, you're not really going to notice much of a difference between 4K and 1080p because it's physically not big enough to like actually make a difference.
Process them frames, yeah.
Yeah, and like just like you were talking about Fortnite, like that's a big thing. People complaining about like the PC console difference, aim assist, FPS stuff like that, and I just think that'll be a big drawback for people.
I'm so happy I'm out of that.
Same,
debate.
like
it was something that always triggered every Fortnite PC player. It was like console kids being like, "You only won because you're on 240 FPS." You know, like that's it.
You have aim assist.
Yeah, exactly.
That community is just too toxic. But yeah, talking about that, the marketing techniques for all of that is good, but I'd like to end that off with a point that just give us more cards, lads. Just give us more cards. It's like, it's mad. The PS5 and Xbox, they said it's going to be out of stock for at least, I think it was a few more weeks. Until after Christmas, people will be able to order those, which I think...
They've already, a lot of stores have announced that they will not have the PS5 or Xbox Series X or RTX 3080 for the rest of 2020, no matter what the case is.
I just find that insane.
Some of them are saying that they're not accepting them because of the amount of outrage they have to go through to sell just a few consoles. Because each store is only given like 4 or 5 at a time. Yeah. That's actually how bad they're getting it. And then some online suppliers like Amazon and stuff, they'll be given hundreds on hundreds. And then little stores like Argos, where else could you get it? Tesco, Game, etc. They're only getting like 5 consoles at a time. And they're selling out like that. And the outrage, the amount of system breakage, it's just not worth it for them.
Yeah, because like companies like Game, they've been going since like the start of next gen game since like the original Xbox. Not obviously, but like it's just like companies like that seen as though, because that's where my dad got his Series X from, struggling to have stock for games like that. The companies won't be able to sell because that's mainly their own selling point.
Yeah, you see what I'm annoyed about? We didn't talk about this in our notes, by the way, but the PS5 digital edition, right? It annoys me because I like going to stores to buy games and stuff. I like supporting stores. With a digital edition console, stores aren't making profit. It's just PlayStation. And the games, of course. So if every console is going to go digital like that, like PS5 are putting out that idea that digital is good. And they're selling it for a less price for that reason. And if they're doing that, then companies like Game will go bankrupt, and you're going to have no way to get exclusives, etc., and it will just take away from the fun. It's exactly how Blockbuster worked. Do you remember Blockbuster? Well, we didn't have Blockbuster, but in the 1990s, you would go and buy movies, right? And then it all just changed to streaming and CDs and stuff. So I don't want it to go that way with games.
I understand your point. Games. Yeah, I do understand your point, but I do disagree on that because personally, I'm a big fan of digital games. Which
but I mean, we're PC players. That's what we do.
Yeah, obviously, but like, I just think it'll be a lot easier in the future to adapt to just having digital, because I think it'll struggle with smaller stores. Like, hear me out. Like, it'll struggle with smaller stores, but I think eventually everything in the world is going to be online shopping. Like, maybe there might be one or two warehouse stores, but like, if that's going to happen, I don't understand why the console should be drawback just to...
Not in our lifetime anyway, but I get you. But I mean, what I'm saying is, if that happens, millions of people are losing jobs, millions of people are losing income. Some people, at least hundreds of thousands that work for companies like such, are going to go homeless. It's a world issue, and they're creating a world issue. That's the thing. They've not made a world issue yet, because, you know, and I don't think they will go that far, but I'm just hoping that they aren't going to make that push.
Yeah, I understand what
that's not... Yeah, because you don't want people losing their jobs and eventually some people going homeless and maybe even dying because of digital editions of consoles and stuff. And, you know, going to a game shop, did you ever have a console? Yeah, you did, right?
Yeah, I've got loads.
You know, going to a game shop and picking up a game and going to buy it. It had a vibe about it, you know.
Especially being a little younger as well, like being like going up to the counter, putting it on. Can I have this game, please? Going home, playing it, putting your thing, downloading it, playing it. That was a vibe.
I'm sounding like a boomer, right? But I
You're a boomer, mate. Get your walking stick.
I don't listen, right? I don't want us to grow up, and we had that feeling. I don't want my kids not to have that feeling, you know. I don't want the whole world to just be buying stuff through credit cards and being like, oh well, that's it, because that's exactly what we do, right? We take that for granted. And when we were younger, we went in and we had that vibe. We want to keep that vibe alive, otherwise, gaming is going to die in general.
I see what you mean. I don't think it'll go that far, but it is possible, obviously. Yeah, but I do understand what you mean, though. But let's talk about cloud consoles, like talking about the future. I think this will be the last generation of like physical like consoles. I think it'll move to something you put in your TV and it'll be all put in the cloud, like a better version of Stadia. Like that's personally how I think.
I don't think the whole world will go like that. Only because
because people will still want to play their original consoles. They like the N64 and stuff like that, the OG ones. Like they might not agree with that, and they might want to.
I know, but the thing is, collectors, right? You can get, if you think about it from this point of view, you can get collectors who will buy fake things, right? And they don't care about their stuff. And then you get collectors who will buy £600 Batman statues, Star Wars statues. Like they'll buy like $1,000 plus signed helmets, etc. from TV shows. They're there to collect that for a reason. They own that now. Yeah. That's what you feel like when you have a game. You own that game. You don't want to not own it. You don't want to be playing it through some cloud streamed. You know, not everybody wants that, and that's what I think will keep actual normal gaming alive. But I hope, I'm not saying that I don't like cloud streaming, but I think that should just be a side thing. I think it's preference, and you know, we don't ever want like collectors, even though they might be hella rich, we don't want them to go out of fashion because, you know, they're buying really nice stuff.
I do agree. It's like it's appealing to all audiences. Like I just think if obviously agree with it or not, the digital and non-digital versions of, I think in that sort of retrospect, maybe not the same thing, but having a digital console where you can just have like a subscription, maybe like a subscription like that, and then having an in real life console, just making a balance between your two audiences, and whichever one makes more money, put more into, but still like appeal to both audiences.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. But I just hope, that's why I'm saying I don't want them to make that push to just fully digital.
Yeah,
you know?
and yeah, I do get you what you mean. Personally, I'm more of a convenience kind of person. Like I'd rather go for the cloud. But if you're the opposite on like the scale, I do understand why, and it's good to have a balance of both.
Yeah, the way that I see it is because if I had hella money, I would be buying really cool collector stuff just to sit on a shelf, because I'm like that.
Yeah.
Every time I go on holiday, I'll get something just so I can bring it back and set it on the shelf. I'll probably never use it again. Stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Like
in London, I went to London and I needed to buy something, right? And I went to William Shakespeare's Globe, and there's a Shakespeare duck just sitting in the window. So I'm like, I need it. I was like, I need it. This is set on my desk. It may gather dust, but it's perfect. Look at that little.
Show us a close up of that.
Look at this.
Oh, look at that legend. Oh,
and it even says to quack or not to quack.
It looks like you.
Can't read it. But...
It looks like you.
Oh. Bro, if only I had a little mustache like that.
Yeah, you'd be chilling. But that is insane, because my every Assassin's Creed game that me and my dad have got, because obviously I know you are as well, massive Assassin's Creed fans. If COD isn't my favorite game franchise, Assassin's Creed definitely is. And everyone we've got the special edition where you get like, you know, the massive figure with it. And I've got the new one, I've no somewhere, and I've got basically every single one, and obviously I'm gonna definitely display them up sometime because they're very important to me.
And you like keeping that, right? You like knowing that
it's
you
very
own
important. Like for me, having that memory just to go back to of it, like if I put it on my wall, just seeing that and be like, this is me, this is my personality, like I love this type of thing. Just having that with you.
You see, I have a bit of OCD with that, and this is why I don't want to start getting a house, right? This is a weird thing this is a weird example, but I don't want to rent a house. I want to get a mortgage. I want to know that that house is mine and my children's after I die, because my plan is I have a lot of houses that are under my name, so of obviously people that are alive, but obviously if they pass, I get the house, etc. So I can rent that out. I can make hella money from that. That's all. I've already got it all planned out. We don't need to worry about it. But when I'm older, I don't want to rent a house personally. I want to have a mortgage so that I know it's mine. I don't know why I'm always like that, and it's the same with my guitars over there. I kept my crappy guitar just because I like knowing that I keep it. You know, that I have that.
Yeah, I do sort of get what you mean, because like personally, obviously this is a completely different topic, but like I do like having something that knowing that it's mine and I'm not just borrowing it off someone. But obviously it just depends to your financial situation. Sometimes you might not be able to afford a mortgage. Sometimes you might just be staying there. Obviously that's something that personally I don't think we can talk about because we don't know that much about it. But yeah, I do agree.
Anyway, moving topics. That's a great topic, by the way. That is something I could talk about all day. So we might come back to that in the future, maybe possibly with someone from Sony, maybe, who knows. Right, so let's talk about the release of Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, bro, the most hyped up game in the past, 2 years, man.
After 8 whole years.
Oh.
The first trailer released in 2012. I believe. I think.
How many setbacks have there been off the game? A good 25.
Yeah.
Good 25.
And you see, they made a new chair with Secret Lab, and you know, if I was hella money again, I'd buy it just as a collector's thing. You know,
is it a Cyberpunk one?
Yeah, and it's all yellow and stuff. It's just yellow.
That'd work with a Wolverine setup.
I would have 2 chairs. I'd have 4 Secret Lab chairs sitting in the back, right? Every day, right? Every day. It would just be a pattern. It'd be yo, I'm using the Batman one. No, I'm using Cyberpunk. No, I'm using the League of Legends one. Just depends.
Got a rich.
Nah.
The thing is though, at Secret Lab, I think are a good company for chairs. Obviously, I've received one. I've obviously not built it yet. It's a Christmas gift off my parents, but I just think that the thing you can get loads of designs and stuff. But Cyberpunk, 8 years, man. I don't understand how you can be forced to wait that long for a game, man. Mm-hmm. There's been good responses to it so far, though. Apparently, people are.
I think I'm not gonna watch anything because I know that if I feel like I have money to spend, I'm gonna buy it. But I don't. I have money to spend right now, but I'm saving up for a guitar. But that's something else. Anyway, the best rated game got announced yesterday or today, I believe, and the best rated game of November is Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is fantastic. I love how good Insomniac games are doing with the Spider-Man games.
Absolutely class game.
Hella props to Insomniac. I don't know what to say. Maybe we could get someone from them on the show. Who knows? This show has endless possibilities. Genuinely.
That's mad. But that game, I'm not picked it up yet. If I do pick up a PS5, I'll be sure to get that up. But I just love that game. It's just what they've done with obviously the movie, the Into the Spider-Verse. Relating that and then sort of connecting it to the universe. I just thought it was a good idea.
They've already talked about the Spider-Man 3 movie, by the way.
Oh yeah, I saw. Alright, there's gonna be Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland in it.
Yeah, I don't care about Andrew Garfield because
you can piss off.
Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire in the same movie.
Tobey Maguire is back.
I've heard Uncle Ben's coming back through
the original one.
I don't know.
I was gonna say it'll be 90 now.
I don't think he'll be that old. I
mean, you two can hang out, you two boomers.
Walking stick.
Oh, you say you bloody mic, mate.
Mate, I can be on one of them electric scooters going 120 miles per hour. Mate, I'd beat Lewis Hamilton now, race.
Motorway time, lads. Oh, that'd be mad. But yeah,
Lewis Hamilton, try me, mate.
Innit, Lewis Hamilton, isn't he like going on for like the top of all time record or something?
Nah, see, just something quick. I was thinking about this in school. If we ever, this isn't gonna happen, but imagine having John Cena on the show, right? And he turns on his video, and it's just black, right? Oh,
you can't see me.
It's just black, and he goes, "You can't see me." Okay. Anyway,
got issues.
So, what do you think about ray tracing in consoles?
Honestly, it was something I didn't really expect. Like, I didn't think that was gonna happen in a million years.
You see, I like the concept, but don't add it to a console before you can run it on at least 60 FPS.
On a PC. Because, like...
No.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. I see what you mean.
Console. Yeah.
But that's where you have to play 30 FPS now.
Mm-hmm. We were talking about that.
Oh, yeah, because even on your PC, even if you're using dual SOI, which is like, so you can make 2 graphics cards into one, like, I don't even think SOI is a good thing, a viable thing to use anymore. I don't even think that's good.
No.
But, like, yeah, I just don't understand why they would make that move. It's in this generation of consoles now, or is it next gen?
The what?
The ray tracing in consoles.
It is this generation, this coming generation, with the PS5 and Xbox Series X, etc.
Yeah. I'd sort of get what the appeal to it, because now they've added it to games such as like Minecraft, making Minecraft look beautiful.
Yeah, it looks great on PC.
Absolutely amazing. I just don't see how they're gonna make that on console, where they're still working on it on PC. Like, look something that the consumer would be interested.
I think it's a new concept for console people, though, so I appreciate that on Sony's end and Microsoft's end. Anyway, moving on to the PS5 controller.
Oh yeah, I forgot you have one.
And it still isn't optimized for PC, but that's not what we're talking
We love emulators.
We do love emulators. So we're talking about the adaptive triggers here, right? So the adaptive triggers, they're like, so see in COD, for example, right? Firing a gun would feel like actually firing a gun. So like the trigger will respond like a gun trigger would. So it'll have that little tension, the tiny bit of tension, and it'll just flick in like an actual gun trigger, which is great. It's fantastic. And then as for Spider-Man, you have the dual sense or whatever you call it, and it makes the controller feel like there's a web being shot at it every time you shoot a web, which is sick.
That's insane.
Because you feel a web in your hands. Like, it's not something that you can really explain, but you have to play it to know. And I think it's sick.
So I'm guessing it's going to have to be optimized for each game they make.
Yeah. So it won't be Microsoft's fault or anything, because Microsoft already have it optimized. As you know, I've used it for my microphone to test that. And then, but it's COD need to do it, Assassin's Creed need to do it, everyone needs to do it. The only game that I've played that actually has optimization for it is Rocket League, which is quite surprising.
Seriously, you hate that game.
I know. I hopped on it. I was like, if this game has it, I'm gonna go mad, and it had it, and I was like, why this one?
I mean, that I see why they've done it, because I think Sony was one of the first people to like allow it on the platform.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do love the controller, like the things that they've done to it. I think that's the main appeal of the new generation, because not too many things have changed. Like 4K, etc. Obviously is like true 4K instead of just like the upscaled from the.
I mean, yeah, and now there's 8K and 12K cameras.
I just don't.
12K cameras. Imagine going out and paying like $7,000 on a camera so that you can record in that quality that you can't even watch with your camera.
I'm just saying, 12K quality cameras are more $100,000.
Good point. Yeah, you have a point.
$7,000 camera.
I
wish I'd buy a $7,000 camera for bloody 12K.
Yeah, I think it's I think 8K comes in at about 20K actually.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I think most films and stuff record in 8K, because 12K is like an upscaled 8K, right? So
I believe so, because they can't. I don't think like you can actually handle 12K. I don't think it's
yeah, and
possible.
you have decent 8K now as well.
I've never actually saw an 8K like panel or.
Oh, I have. It's sick. Like in shops, it looks real. Like,
Can you
and
tell
then
the difference
there's
between 4K?
yeah, 100%. But I've seen an 8K. The best TV in the world right now is an LG QLED. It's like this big
Yeah,
display
I've
thing.
saw that, and it's basically like paper thin.
Yeah,
And
they kept advertising it to me, right? And I'm like, right, you're advertising this to me too much. It has to be decently cheap if you're going to advertise it to these people. I
five
look at the
grand.
price. It wasn't 5 grand. It was 24 grand.
Oh,
I'm like, who the hell's paying that? And it's like, it's not even a TV you get on the wall. You have it sitting on the ground to blend in, type thing, because
oh,
it's
I
that big.
remember. I'm not sure if it was that TV. Correct me if I'm wrong. The one where it was supposed to be like holographics, like it was see through.
I've not seen that.
But there was an LG TV that they're manufacturing, and it's supposed to be when you can see to your wall behind it. But I've just thought if you're trying to cable manage that thing, you can see the cables behind it.
Yeah, and how are you supposed to see your TV program or
In
movie
it, it's
correctly?
like you're watching some Fast and Furious, and you see the car, and then behind it you've got a wall with a picture of your nan. And
I
it's
know,
like,
right? Like,
it just doesn't make sense. But if it's gonna become something like the Tony Stark like hologram sort of like TV things, then I would like to see.
yeah, that'd be cool. There is already like hologram projections, but we're not going to touch on that because that'd take a whole other topic.
Oof.
Right. So, Xbox, they're doing pretty bad on exclusive games.
Really?
They've not had a nomination since
For
2013.
Game of the Year.
Yes.
The thing is, though, I find that incredible. Not incredible is a good thing, but I just think Forza and Gears of War and
They're not going to get Game of the Year though. See if you think about it compared to like Uncharted and stuff.
Hmm.
You know.
I see, because Forza and Gears of War, they're more games that, first of all, Gears of War and Forza absolutely adore. I love those games, and especially with 8K, Forza will look basically real. If they could build that up, but the Uncharted series and Spider-Man, obviously, that's more mainstream. I think like it'll be more like interactive, and more people like it, so they'll get nominated for game, which I understand why, because it's definitely something.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, so a fun fact is that Xbox have never had a nomination, right? A nomination meaning they've not even been had a chance since 2013. Yet Nintendo have.
I do not. If I know what you're gonna say Breath of the Wild, aren't you?
No, right, no, listen, right. I'm just gonna say Nintendo have more nominations for Game of the Year than Xbox. How?
I sort of understand, because it doesn't make sense, but
They got Animal Crossing this year. I think it's because it's a
the player base.
child, yeah, it's like a children player base
Because
type thing.
the thing is, Breath of the Wild, one of the best games of all time. And the amount of people that got behind that game can definitely understand. It was 2017 reward game of the year. And not too many other games that were good came out. That was when COD was dying. Fortnite just came out, but it wasn't big enough.
When did Spyro Reignited come out? Was that 2016? 2017 maybe?
2016. But for
We're gonna have something related to that soon. Just
yeah. But for what was I saying? Oh yeah, Breath of the Wild. Yeah, a great game, and I understand why Nintendo have got that, but I just think the Gears of War series, that's also amazing. I don't understand how Nintendo got so.
But if you
One of
think
those, yeah.
about it though, it's the player base on Nintendo.
Yeah.
I can understand, but the Gears of War doesn't compare to like The Last of Us or Uncharted or Spider-Man or any of that. It just doesn't.
Fair enough. In my opinion, I disagree, but like, I think that was just because I grew up playing Gears of War with my dad, and I love that game.
I think it's the mechanics overall. They don't look at how the vibe is though. It's just the mechanics, the way that game is optimized for the console, etc. I think that's how it works. Plus, you have to vote for your favorite, and no one's ever voted. for an Xbox nomination.
Is it the public that can vote, or is it a certain amount of like?
It's the public. It's the public, because I voted for Spider-Man Miles Morales for the November one.
Nice, but I do agree with what you're saying. Something disagree, but that's like obviously great to good thing.
It is. And I hope that maybe, if any of you guys are really interested and you have some good jobs that you could talk about, then maybe we could get you on here too. Anyway, going off games for a little sec. Coronavirus. We're not going to talk much about politics.
Big topic.
The first vaccine, right? The first vaccine, which is a big step, so that's why I feel we need to mention it. We're not going to normally go into this type of stuff, but it was given to a 90-year-old called Margaret Keenan, and I think that's sick. And yeah,
Great. Sorry to cut you off there, but I think it's a great advancement. Like, it's insane because the whole world have just thrown money at this because it stopped their businesses, and like obviously with COVID, they want to just try and get it out the way so they can go back to create as much money as possible, get the economy back.
Yeah,
and
it got the economy to an all-time low.
Yeah, it's insane how much, like the UK, I saw it lost like, what was it, like 15-20%?
No, yeah, we're in through the UK, right? UK government is in about $3 trillion debt. £3 trillion pounds, sorry. Trillion. So they're probably going to go finance on millions a year.
Yeah.
Like it's like you're buying a TV. It's like finance.
Can I borrow 50 quid a month and 100 quid chargeback?
Yeah, and then the government are like, so we're going to be paying 5 million this month. Right. Anyway, so how did you cope with lockdown? We met each other during lockdown, actually, which is helped. That's actually mad. That brought us to where we are now. We met each other through Zuck. I don't think
he's a legend.
Quite.
Quite. But yeah, like lockdown for many people, it was a very bad part of their lives, and for me, actually, really worked well for me. Lockdown was a really good thing for me. My YouTube channel, I think I was around 470 subs, or maybe 500. And I was struggling at that point. I was low on content, low on motivation. And I started streaming on YouTube again. Streaming every day, playing Fortnite with my subscribers, stuff like that. Growing my channel, making videos. And to the end of lockdown, I was over 1,000 subscribers. And it
Yeah. Lockdown, it helped me meet you, Thomas. It definitely helped me meet some new people. But it wasn't too good for my family, and some of my family members caught coronavirus that are over like 80, which kind of scared me. Other than that, my next door neighbor, who's really nice to me, like she's really nice to me. She's almost like family. She also caught it twice, I think. And no, wait, sorry, she did catch it twice. I don't know, and I had like a really hard time. I don't talk about it, and I'm not gonna, but it's just like it's just something else. Like it brought people together. It brought people together and pushed them apart at the same time. But and especially for my grandparents, they said that they really felt it, like not being able to see people. My gran, she does aerobics and swimming and stuff. Just imagine a 60-year-old woman jumping around in water doing jumping jacks and that's my gran, right? So she does that. She couldn't do that, right? And she couldn't even go to see her friends, and like it was just her and my granddad in the house. So it really affected quite a few people that I know, especially. So
yeah, it was a hard time in people's lives. Obviously, mental health is a big part of that, and we're not going to talk about it for too much. But it was very different for.
Yeah, it was difficult for me. I had like an episode I'm not even going to say, but anyway. Going back to gaming for 1 second. Keanu Reeves is in Cyberpunk, right? Was he always casted to be in it? I don't think he was, right?
I don't know, because like it wasn't a big thing until like early 2019 when they...
Yeah, and they didn't talk about it. And Keanu Reeves, I think if he was casted in it in 2012, it would have been before he grew, you know?
Yeah.
Like maybe people knew him from The Matrix, but John Wick really pushed him, you know?
Yeah, I think that was 2014, wasn't it? Okay.
I think so. I think so.
But yeah, like the Matrix class films, but I think they're very underrated.
Yeah, there's not much to say about Keanu Reeves except for he's a legend, bloody legend.
A bloody legend.
So, we also in every podcast we're going to do a little game. When we're not interviewing someone, if someone is coming here like an actor, a voice actor, and they want to stay for a long period of time, then we won't do the game. But if they've left by that point, if we're by ourselves, we'll do the game because it's just a little bit of fun.
Yeah, it is a little bit fun because let me know in the comments section. Let us know what you want to see from these podcasts. If you're listening on Spotify, let us know. Go over to our YouTube channel. We'll be posting maybe some clips, maybe even some little highlights.
Or you can go to our Twitter. Our DMs are open. Twitter is at the Cub Cast. That's it. No spaces. We managed to get that. This is our own name and this is our own podcast. It's still surprising. So we're playing some Would You Rather today as a nice little.
All right, these questions, they sort of relate more towards us, so I chose this sort of questions rather than just the generic would you rather questions. But first of all, dog or cat? And I know what you're gonna answer.
Right. Can we elaborate?
Yeah.
Right, so when I was younger, I always wanted a dog. I still would love a dog, right? But I never really liked cats, right? But when I had the opportunity to get a cat, when I was told that I could get a cat, I got a cat. And, getting cats, it's always something, I've heard that it's like always something that someone didn't want to do in the first place, but when the opportunity came up, they just took it. And then they just became a cat person. That's kind of what happened to me. But I still absolutely love dogs. I love Alsatians. I prefer. I like the Huskies. The crossbreed eye things. They're really hard to take care of and a lot of money though. I don't plan on getting an actual dog, but I do love them. I like staffies, small staffies, not too big ones. They're very fat and heavy.
They'll sit on you and you'll die.
Mate, like I've actually had a staffy sit on me and I felt like I was like my gran with whatever it's called. What's the thing? The bone disease, arthritis.
Oh,
that's what I felt
arthritis.
like. And so that's that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm a cat person. I have a tabby and I've had her for years now. I love her. So
Pepsi, that cat. But yeah, I'm a dog person myself, but that's only really because I only ever had one cat, and then that was when I was like really young and it wasn't really our cat. It sort of just disappeared one day. And I sort of named him Ezio. I named him Ezio, and it was a legend cat. But I have a dog called Shadow. If people see on my Instagram, I do post about him a bit because he's a lovely dog.
See, I never really visit your actual like business Instagram. I always just visit your normal one whenever you post pictures on that one. Your private.
Yeah. but yeah, I'm more of a dog person. I think that's like you said. I think it's more of the like
just what you had, what you're used to,
your family. Like dogs are. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure dogs are more common because of the indoor like thing. Because there's less in.
Yeah, I mean the thing is cats like getting them and training them. They can be vicious. Like actually, they'll like scratch you up. They'll bite you.
Like little babies, they'll scratch you in the face.
It's one thing is. Dogs are usually chill throughout the whole day.
Yeah.
Cats, they have like 1 or 2 hours where they just go mad and they start like rolling about the place looking like an actual spasm. And like then they bite you and then they claw you like this. And then they're like, it's all the time you'll get hurt, but it's definitely worth it.
So we'll go into the second one. we like to elaborate on our questions quite a bit. I'm gonna go Netflix or YouTube.
YouTube, because YouTube has such an unlimited thing, and apparently there's like, I don't know what the exact estimate is, I've kind of forgotten, but I think it's like 8 million minutes or seconds or something like that uploaded every minute to YouTube or something like that.
Oh, like footage.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Something like that. So it's just unlimited possibilities on YouTube. Although I love my Netflix as well because I like my Gotham. I've watched Gotham.
I can tell you like your Gotham.
4 times straight. So yeah.
Yeah.
Gotham could be an idea for the show, by the way.
Oh yeah. I do agree. I have to agree. YouTube. I have at least over 10,000 hours on it. Like it's just a lot of your life, no matter what you're doing, no matter what job you have, no matter what interest you have, YouTube can always help you. Like
No matter
there's
what.
anything's on there, like literally anything.
You can help yourself with mental health. You can do whatever you
Yeah.
want on there. There's motivating videos. There's very scary videos. There's demotivating videos. There's a lot on there.
Yeah, you like you
There's,
can learn how to do new things, try new things.
And if you want to get fit, then there's workouts and stuff like that. There's everything you want.
I do agree on some points. Netflix is amazing. There's that the 1 a.m. Watchings of the shows you like, just
I know, right?
binge watching. Yeah, I do agree. All right, we'll do another question, then we'll do one final one to that. But we'll go iOS or Android. Very controversial, but I want to see what you.
Android. I don't even have to talk.
Android.
Mind.
Like, I used to be an iPhone person.
Same.
We're not gonna go too much into that, otherwise we'll get slaughtered.
It's too controversial.
Get slaughtered, mate. But obviously, if you're watching and listening to this right now, you can also be a part of this. But Aaron, music or podcast while you're walking or in the cars?
While I'm walking, I'd say music. Podcast is like one of those things for me, at least. When you just chill out, you want to listen to some people talk. That's all it is.
For me, a podcast is sort of thing where I'll be listening to music in like while I'm walking, going somewhere, but I'll listen to podcasts if I'm in the car on like a long journey. Like if I'm in a short journey, I'll just put on a couple of songs, just just chill, vibe to that. But like if I want to do something, and enjoy a good old talk.
Yeah, because if I'm out cycling or running or walking or whatever, I'll always have music. But as for long car journeys, I like my podcast. But I also like a bit of music,
Yeah, I do agree.
Because like if I had a podcast, it's like 2 hours, and usually my long car journeys go anywhere from 4 hours to 10 hours is my longest, I think. And yeah, and that's what I'd do. If it was like 4 hours, I'd maybe listen to 2 hours of a podcast, and then my playlist is something like 2 hours 10. So just shuffle my playlist.
Yeah, true. They still need to add a way you can shuffle your playlist on Spotify easy. It's annoying having to
I don't use Spotify. I use Amazon Music. We pay for that because Alexa.
I don't actually use Spotify that much anymore. I usually just use music because I find it because YouTube's interface is just really. But,
yeah, I like the new Amazon Music update. I didn't really like the UI, but now I love it. Like it's now modern.
I've never used it that much before. I got put off by the UI when I started using it. I do have Amazon Prime. Use that quite. Yeah.
Yeah, but Amazon Music Unlimited is a completely different thing, so I have to have both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know any singers, by the way? Do you have any singers that follow you, or like, do you have any mutual follows on Twitter with anyone famous?
I don't know about famous, but I've talked about this before with people. FaZe Mew, I love you, mate. Absolute legend.
How about mutuals?
Mutuals. It like he's been following me for a couple now. But like I just if you guys haven't already, make sure you go follow him. If you're not a big fan of FaZe, I know I'm not a big fan of him at the minute. Like they've just changed to a completely different. Well, he's just a genuine guy, and he's a chill guy, and I'd recommend you go and watch him.
Yeah, I have mutuals. A long list of really cool people, but I'm gonna go with the coolest. So I have mutuals with Barack Obama.
I still find that so insane. I don't understand that.
I don't know how it works.
He just loves you.
I have mutuals with One Republic, Lately I've been listening. That one, yeah. And then I also have mutuals with Justin Bieber, Snoop Dogg. Have I said Snoop Dogg? Yeah, I have a lot of people. And then Justin Bieber is followed. So I have like second mutuals with like everybody, like Elon Musk and stuff.
Does Sway follow you?
Sway used to follow me because I met him. That's actually another story. I met him on
another podcast. It was a good time.
I met him. He was a chill guy. Apparently he skipped people he didn't like, and he didn't skip me. So
I mean, why would he skip you?
I know, right? So I had a full-blown like 5-minute conversation with Face Ray. He was a pretty chill guy. He's followed me, and then he used an unfollow bot so that he wouldn't have as many followed people. So yeah.
Enough. But I really enjoyed the first episode of the podcast. How about you, mate?
I love that. It was great. We're gonna have some fun people on. Some fun people.
Yeah, we'll have some hints. Just look out for something soon.
As of now, it is going to be a weekly podcast episode. We're going to upload it to everything at the same time. We're going to look through it all together, etc. Yeah. And thank you for watching.
And listening on Spotify.
And
Bye
bye.
bye.
Stay cozy.